Hi there, Stan, the Annuity Man, America's annuity agents, licensed in all 50 states. And Puerto Rico, weirdest topic in a while, are annuities intended to liquidate an estate. It's pretty interesting. I accepted the challenge from my consultants and handlers that choose all of these topics for me because, of course, I don't have time for that. I'm flying around, I'm meeting with the people, speaking and all that stuff, playing my guitar. That would be a Flying V Gibson 72. That's what I do. But this is an interesting topic because there's a lot of people out there, including you, just like my friend in the life insurance business says, 1 out of 1 of us is going to die. I'm like, thanks, Tony Robbins. It's a motivational speech, but there is going to be a lot of money changing hands. And so do annuities play a role in that? Can they play a role in that? Should they play a role in that? How do they play a role in that? I'll cover all of that after this. So annuities liquidating an estate. Pretty interesting topic. And the more I thought about this, I'm actually doing this, which is interesting. I didn't think of the topic at the time, but let me tell you how I'm doing this. You know, my wife and I have been very blessed, started out with nothing, here we are, we have all this stuff, and how are we going to distribute that to the kiddies, now 29 and 27? I always tell people that I like to lovingly handcuff beneficiaries. You know, we love them, but if we give them the lump sum, they're going to show up at our funeral in a helicopter and then drive off in a Lamborghini, all of which they have paid cash for. We don't want that. We want to at least them making payments on it. So with me personally, when I pass away, and stop for a second, I know that's jarring for you to even think about. It is sad. I mean, I think there'll be like concerts, like a Lollapalooza thing for me, you know, when I die, bands coming in and all this stuff. But when I die, my daughters, 29, 27 at the time of this taping, whenever that is when I die, there's going to be an immediate annuity purchase for them to give them lifetime income instead of them getting the lump sum. Now, they're going to cuss me out every time that money hits the bank account. They'll be like, I wish you'd give me that. I wish you'd give me a lump sum. But that money's going to come uninterrupted and unchanged for the rest of their life. So I'm already doing that. You know, so when I saw it, I was thinking more weird legal stuff. But that's what I call lovingly handcuffing your beneficiaries. I got a call the other day from a gentleman, and this happens occasionally. They had a special needs child that was becoming an adult. What do we do when that happens? And my comment to him was similar to one I had on me, which is, I said to him, you know, Ed, if you're hitting on all cylinders and you're okay, is everything going to be all right with your child? He goes, yeah, as long as I'm here and I'm functioning, everything's good. I'm like, great. So let's not do anything now. Let's not buy anything now, but let's structure that trust like I did so that when you pass, I know that your wife doesn't want to do this. It'll already be structured for your child to get that payment using the lump sum for lifetime income so that they can be taken care of for the rest of their lives. So I think annuities going forward, if people use their brain and use us to talk about it, they're going to choose that. Because there's a lot of kids out there that I call wandering ambiguities. They mean well, but they just kind of float through life. You know, they're living under the umbrella of capitalism that you and I both provide generously, but they really don't know, they just haven't found themselves. And there's a lot of people out there. You might have a guy called me the other day, he goes, I got 3 kids, 2 of them successful as heck. 1 of them can't find the way out of a door. They can't open a door. They're smart, they went to school, they just aren't there. They don't care, they don't get it, they're just not in it. For those wandering ambiguities that we love, we can structure an annuity payment so that they're not going to get a hold of a lump sum. Okay? Think about it for a second. Do you really want them to get a lump sum? And maybe you do. Maybe that's okay with you. For me, you know, my daughters, you know, I got a bunch of MIGAs, which are fixed rate annuities. we're just rolling those and kicking the tax can down the road, they're going to get those. But the lump sum that they're salivating over, that's going to be in payment form. Those are going to be immediate annuities. And you can say, well, how much are they going to make? What's it going to pay? What's the guarantee? I don't know that until I die, because when I die, the trust is then triggered in a directional legal format to purchase the immediate annuities at that time of my death for them for their life. So the older are, the higher the payment. The younger they are, the lower the payment. It's really that simple. And we'll shop all carriers like we always do for the highest contractual guarantee for lifetime income, A+ or better. And yes, I do have a continuation plan at Stan the Annuity Man. We're the biggest gorillas out here. We're the biggest annuity distributor out here, #1 agent out here. I'm proud of that because we did it the right way. We did it by only looking at the contractual guarantees of the policy, for what owner the policy, for what it will do, not what it might do. There's been no hopes and dreams and unicorns chasing butterflies here, because that's not what annuities do. Annuities are contracts issued by life insurance companies. So the question of the day is, are annuities intended to be used to liquidate an estate or distribute money from an estate? I don't think intended, but I think it should be considered. Every situation's different. But there's going to be such a transfer of wealth coming forward in this country as the baby boomers die off. And a lot of it's going to be, there's going to be some annuities already in place, but a lot of it's going to be lump sum stuff that the kids or whoever's inheriting the money, they might not want to continue your market mavenism. They might not care about reverse option strategies or butterfly option strategies, or they might not care about any of that. They might just care about lifetime income. And for me, being kind of a control freak, the trust buying the immediate annuity for my daughters is controlling it from the grave, which I like. And you might like too, because what it also tells me is they're never going to go without. They're never not going to have a lifetime income stream. And who knows what's going to happen with Social Security. They could means test it for me and you. They could means test it for the family. They meaning the government. They meaning the politicians. I mean, all bets are off with $40 trillion and counting on the debt. So I think it's inherent, no pun intended, inherent upon us as the A personalities of the family, if you're watching me and you are one, to make sure that those guarantees are in place, especially from a lifetime income standpoint. We're hearing a lot of politicians and influencers out there talking about, I think Elon talked about a guaranteed income because AI is going to create all this stuff. Okay, great, that's fine. But why don't we beat him to the punch and go ahead and create that for our loved ones? So are annuities intended to liquidate the estate? No, but they should be considered. And I guess that there are lawyers out there that, with some big estates, that annuities would make sense from the standpoint of the structure and the rigidness of that contract, but that's on a case-by-case basis. I can't comment on that, but I can comment on me and you, same people, grew up with nothing and now we have it. What are we going to do? How are we going to distribute it? That's where annuities come in. Annuities are contracts. Annuities are transfer risk products. Annuities solve for principal protection and lifetime income. But it also solves for peace of mind. And it also is a very, very good legacy strategy if you're concerned about some of your loved ones needing income in perpetuity. And that's where they come in. Do me a favor, go to my site at theannuityman.com, schedule a call, you might get me, probably will. And if you don't get me, demand to get me, and you'll get me. Also, email me, stan@theannuityman.com. You can download all of my books on my site. This is probably not something to say, but I'm looking forward to our new site, which is coming up. So, you look back and go, what's he talking about like 3 years ago? But I just had to say that. We're doing a new website that's going to be very, very interesting and very forward-thinking from the standpoint of technology, but also under the guise of pro-consumer. One last thing, above my head, spinning clock. I did a cool video on why people still hate annuities, and they do. And I don't blame them, because they're sold improperly and they're explained incorrectly and they're overhyped and pushed by people who don't have the acumen or the background or the capability of explaining them. They're just selling, and that's not good because people are making bad mistakes. But I've got solutions for them, and what I'll talk to you about in that video is some things to watch out for so you can protect yourself. All right? My name is Stan, the Annuity Man. Appreciate you hanging in there with me. We'll see you next time.